The oceans are constantly changing. Waves, tides, and currents modify the coast and the seabed. Sediment moves and settles, wrecks drift. Construction and coastal development, offshore activities like oil and gas exploration, renewable energy projects such as wind farms, aquaculture, they are all changing the topography. There are a handful of people worldwide doing hydrography to keep our oceans safe. What is hydrography? Hydro is water and graphy is writing. So hydrography is charting the bodies of water such as seas, oceans and lakes. In the distant past, when the ships sailed in the uncharted waters, they quite often sank after hitting an underground rock or ran aground in the shallows and wrecked. Almost 90% of the world trade happens through ships and bulk carriers, and the world economy depends on the safe and reliable shipping route. In order to sail safely through the vast oceans and seas and inland lakes and waterways, we need to know what lies beneath the water. When exploring the seabed in shallows and deep waters, how do you know what features exist in order to plan your route? At sea, the nearest land is usually under the keel of a ship. It is not where you see it, it is where you don't. Hydrography is the science of measuring, describing, and displaying features below or above the surface of the water, including the variations of the tide, currents, and water levels. Nautical charts provide mariners all the information they need to navigate safely. In order to make a nautical chart of an area, first of all, you need to measure its depth. Back in the 16th century, cartographers used to incorporate the stories of the sailors along the coastal features and occasionally few depth markings. These are very colorful charts with mermaids and gargoyles and sea monsters. Today we search for our own monsters. Undiscovered underwater seamounts and dangerous rocks, shifting shoals, debris from storms and hurricanes, unexploded ordnance, shipwrecks and everything that are danger to shipping and recreational mariners. World is dependent on global trade, and hydrography makes this trade possible. Nations depend on hydrography for more than navigation. The science helps us plan the growing usage of ocean and coastal resources. We use the information to learn the health of our fisheries. Information helps the scientist measure the sea level rise and other effects of the climate change. But we don't hear much about hydrography, much less of hydrographers. It is like hidden science. Hydrographers are like those unknown scientists who works behind the scene to provide us with safe navigation. They support vital coastal communities and help to protect marine ecosystem. Despite its importance, the majority of our ocean is largely unknown. In fact, only about 5% of the ocean has been explored and charted by humans. The rest, especially its depth, are still unknown. As of 2023, 24.9% of the global seafloor had been mapped with modern high-resolution technology. However, there is still a significant amount of seafloor left to be mapped at high resolution. Multi-beam bathymetry sends sound waves which reflects back to give us the depth of the area. Autonomous vehicles, whether underwater, on the surface or airborne, can now do the job far more effectively than manned aircraft, boats or divers. Autonomous underwater vehicles can detect pipelines, unexploded ordnance, or even lost ships. Swarms of autonomous survey vessels rapidly gathering wide swaths of accurate multi-beam data. Aerial drones can carry optical sensors to map the shape of the shore, intertidal areas, and shallow waters. Autonomous technologies are helping to make great advances in hydrography. Up-to-date and comprehensive hydrographic information is essential to develop autonomous shipping that is safe, efficient, and sustainable. Hydrography is not only about making nautical charts. Hydrography is critical for many other activities such as resource exploration, environmental protection and management, maritime boundary delineation, recreational boating, maritime defense and security, tsunami flood and inundation modeling, coastal zone management, tourism, and marine science. In a world without hydrography, there will be no safe ports, no safe routes, no integrated coastal management. In a world without hydrography, there will be no offshore installation, no underwater cable, no pipelines, no oil rigs, no fish farms, and no wind farms. Have you ever thought of being a hydrographer? You will map the seas and oceans in great details. You will work outdoors, at sea, and along the coast using cutting-edge technology with a dash of adventure. You will get to travel. You will be able to explore, discover, and chart the unknown. So choose hydrography as a career. You will contribute to safer navigation, to protect the marine environment, to managing the use of seas and oceans, to responding to natural disaster. So choose hydrography as a career. You can make a difference.